Hello, welcome to the Jefferson Center for Learning and the Arts.
The Jefferson Center's campus is a brilliant fusion of historic preservation and more than 24 organizations practicing 21st century philanthropy. The collection of buildings on Jefferson Avenue houses nonprofit organizations doing important work in the arts, education, and social services. Located in the Discovery District, we have the benefits of a downtown location, the joys of being a part of Columbus's creative campus, and the character and charm of an historic neighborhood. This inspired concept was developed almost 40 years ago as Lucia and Arthur Voorhees were searching for a location for an alternative elementary school they had helped launch.
The success of the Metropolitan School resulted in a need for additional space almost immediately. The two looked around and found adequate space on Jefferson Avenue, so moved the Metropolitan School there. But after they were located on Jefferson Avenue for a few years, they found that the neighborhood offered a lot more.
And that vision was as a center. And if you look at the site, you realize it has the median park in the street that is over a block long. And around it are all of those 1880s buildings, which lend themselves to having a large number of organizations.
As Columbus boomed in the decades after World War II, downtown neighborhoods were raised to make way for skyscrapers, hotels, and parking lots, and the few that were left were ravaged in the early 1960s by the interstate construction. Finding this neighborhood intact, although in very poor condition, triggered an inspiration for a project much larger than the Metropolitan School.
The more we looked at that center, the more we realized what a charming place it could be, what a functional place it could be, what a charmingly functional place it could be, and what a charmingly functional center it could be.
The buildings had been allowed to deteriorate, but as attention turned to restoring them, each one revealed beautiful architectural details and rich stories of a bygone era. Imagine the thrill of learning that one of the 1880s houses with boarded-up windows had been the home of famed humorist James Thurber and his family. There were a number of challenges in restoring the house. Fortunately, though, the building had not been significantly altered. Meanwhile, the Voorhees, in a forward-thinking gesture, chartered the Jefferson Center organization and gave the properties to it. The early trustees went about raising money, restoring properties, and attracting nonprofit tenants to the campus. The challenges were not insignificant, but the rewards have been phenomenal. The buildings have been adapted for contemporary office use. Our restored 19th century homes now provide space for 24 nonprofit organizations. Today, some of our tenants are of significant size, enjoying a statewide footprint. Others are small entities with a local presence. They include a literary center that teaches children to write, 6 organizations working on international programming and global issues, agencies whose missions are to protect children, provide advocacy for human rights, and ensure access to technology for the almost 40% of Ohio residents who do not have internet connections at home. We house Franklin County's largest provider of literacy training, small performing groups with dancers, one of the most successful gay men's choruses in the country, world music programming, an historical organization that advocates for preservation and teaches restoration techniques at workshops on the campus, a workforce development program, and a museum. We provide shared conference space and office equipment at below market rates, block-wide events, picnic tables, public gallery space, and a community garden that fosters collegial relationships among our tenants.
All organizations ultimately can feed off each other's experience. They face similar fundraising issues. There's a commonality among nonprofits that makes being in the same Jefferson Center location really valuable to these organizations.
We welcome nonprofit organizations with a clear sense of mission because when organizations save money on overhead costs, there are more resources for the delivery of direct services. We are committed to the fields of health, human services, arts, culture, and historic preservation. We welcome you to explore this lively campus where people are working together, sharing resources, and creating a community that is designed to meet the basic needs of the human body, mind, and spirit in ways that bind us together.